Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Wilson versus Doughty.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Wilson, after a 34-year search, you are here to prove to the defendant that he is your daughter, Shakina Wright's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wright, you say that Mr. Doughty's paternity denial has left you with a gaping emotional wound and you are desperate to know the truth about your paternity. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Doughty, you say you had a short fling with Ms. Wilson, who you claim was a promiscuous party girl. You say it's highly unlikely you are Ms. Wright's father, and you intend to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Wilson, let me start with you. You say today means everything. Explain.
What I mean by that, Your Honor, is that it means a lot to me, but it means more to my daughter. And I just want Mr. Doughty to take full responsibility.
And up until now, he has not?
No, ma'am, he has not.
All right.
Your Honor,
so
he
how
was my
did you
first
meet?
love. He was my first love. He was the first person that I fell hard in love with. You know, I've never been in love with anybody else until I met him. We met at a party. And yes, I slept with him the first day because I felt like, oh, a 22-year-old man, oh, he's on me, he liked me, so, you know. And that was the reason why I slept with him. And Your Honor, it wasn't like, oh, okay, I just go around sleeping with any man, you know, because, you know, no, I liked him. That's why I chose to sleep with him, because I liked him.
All right, so Mr. Doughty?
Well, how did I know that, you know?
Because I slept with you, that's how you knew it. Because I slept with you.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Listen, Mr. Doughty, you remember having this sexual relationship with Miss Wilson?
Yes, I do.
And so you met her at this party.
Uh-huh.
You have sex with her. Did you use protection?
No, I did. When I first met Barbara, I'll never forget the day. We was sitting like in the living room, and she had some red lipstick on. And I asked her, could I taste that red lipstick? And from there on, so we spent the next 3 days in each other's arms.
Miss Wilson, were you dating anybody else at that time?
No, no one else. Once he left to go back to Connecticut, we stayed in contact for a little while, you know, until we found out that I was pregnant.
Take me to that day when you found out you were pregnant.
I think maybe a week or two later, I went to the hospital and I found out I was pregnant. And I called him up and I told him I was pregnant.
And what was his response?
He was happy. He was, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna send for you. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And, you know, I'm gonna send for you. You're gonna come to Connecticut. And, you know, not knowing he was still living with his parents, you know.
So, Mr. Doughty, do you remember this conversation when she called to say she was pregnant?
Yeah, I remember that, because, like, her parents gave me the money to go get her, but I just never went back.
Why?
Young and dumb, I guess, you know. I just didn't believe.
So you didn't go back because you didn't believe?
I didn't believe I was a daddy.
Your Honor, I think all along he knew he was the father. All along, he just didn't want the responsibility. That's what I think. That's what I truly believe. Because if you know you have somebody's pregnant, whether he was the father or not, wouldn't you want to find out? When you know, make the effort to find out? I just believe that he never wanted the responsibility.
And so from there, do you lose touch? How does this happen? He never shows. Your mom would give you the money.
But I did come back. I did come back about maybe a year later to go find her. But when I did get there, I went to where she last place I knew she lived. And some dude approached me like, oh, she's not here. We don't want you around here. We don't want to have nothing to do with you. But he did tell me that she was in Philadelphia. That was pretty much like the way he threatened me. I felt as though he could have been the father, basically.
Oh, you thought you ran into the true biological father?
Maybe or maybe not. But the way he approached me, it's like, oh, we don't want you around here. If you don't leave, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So, you know, I'm not a drama type of person.
Miss Wilson, had you moved away?
That was a family member. If he went to because when I left one of a family member in that apartment when I left. And it wasn't nobody I was dating or he could have been possibly the father, a family member. We don't do that. That's called incest.
But But I didn't know who he was, basically. I didn't know who he was.
Well, he
you're
didn't give
saying
me an indication that he was like a boyfriend or something. He didn't say, well, that's my woman, you need to leave her alone. It wasn't that type of threat,
But
as you may say.
Like I said, I didn't know who he was.
So in your mind, Mr. Doughty, you didn't know who he was. He said, we don't need you around here. You said, oh, well, I must not be the father.
Basically,
So, Ms. Wilson, why is it you didn't pursue him more? Why didn't you say, you know what, my baby's getting older. I know he may not believe he's the father, but I'm about to find this man and I'm about to get down to the bottom of this.
Okay, let me explain something to Your Honor. He gave me the last name, his last name, that so I thought was his last name. But come to find out, he was using another last name. That's why nobody could find him. That's why I couldn't find him. And at the time, I was getting...
So you think he was avoiding you?
Yes, I know he was. I know he was. He didn't want to be found, Your Honor, because like I said, he never took full responsibility.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Shakina's growing up. Who are you telling her that her father is? What are you telling her?
I told her who her father was when she was old enough to, to recognize
You
or
told her
realize.
it was Mr. Doughty.
Yes.
And so, Shakina, I want to hear from you. What was it like growing up without? Oh, honey. Just take a deep breath and just try to give your honest testimony.
It's okay, I love you.
Yep, just take your time. What was your experience like?
A lot of times when I was a child, I had to go to school and see other kids with their daddy. And they used to ask me, well, where's your daddy? I used to just lie and make up stuff. I would say that he's dead or he lives in another state somewhere. I've been always wondering how he looked, where he was, why did you do me this way? Why me? It was just a missing part of me. It was just hard the whole time.
And Mr. Doughty, after hearing Shakina speak so honestly about having to lie as a child, she was so ashamed and embarrassed to not have a dad, she would lie and make up a story about where you were or that you were even dead.
Well, I just want to answer this. As far as my name was concerned, I was adopted as well. And they used their name on my, on my Social Security. But come to find out, my biological mother's name was also on my birth certificate, because it took a little while for me to get my birth certificate. But it was never a point that I was running or hiding, but I have two last names.
Knowing that you was adopted, why not, because you was adopted and have your real parent, why not step up as a parent for your child?
I never met my mother.
Absolutely.
I never met you. It's the same situation.
I never met my real mother.
It's just you was blessed to get a family to take care of you. I wasn't.
I understand that, but I
was
never met
traded
my
from
mother.
this person to that person to that person.
By the time I got to meet her.
But you was a healthy human being that you should have stepped up and found your child to give me a better life.
Absolutely.
But at that time, I had a lot of issues. I used to drink a lot, and I used to hang out a lot.
It's no excuse.
I know it's no excuse, but that's
excuse.
what was going on.
So can you tell me how you finally found one another? How did that happen?
I found him on Facebook. I put in Leon Nelson, and his picture popped up.
Really?
Like I said, I never knew about Doughty, but it popped up Leon Doughty. I said, well, this is his face. I said, where did Doughty come from? Who is that? So when I inboxed him and gave him my phone number, he called me right away. He called me, I said, well, this is his voice. I said, this is Leon then. I said, we talked a little bit or whatever, laughed a little bit, and I got right at it. I said, you know your daughter is such and such and such. At that time, you're 36 now, so 3 years ago, you was 33.
Right.
So I said, your daughter's 33. You know, when are you going to step up and get in her life and do what you need to do as her father?
And so, Mr. Doughty, what was your feeling like when you received this message and you got this call about a young woman, Ms. Wilson says is your daughter, your 30-something-year-old daughter.
Be honest, I was glad to hear. I was glad to know that they found me.
Because I hit him on Facebook, too. I said, well, do you know that you're my father? He said, yes, I do. He said, I never denied you. I know you're mine. So after sending him that message, I went to Connecticut to see him.
And how was that first meeting? Describe it.
This is how I felt when I first met him. I was excited.
Where did you meet?
At a hotel that I was staying at in Connecticut.
And you say you were excited.
Yes, I was excited. When he shows up, he wasn't in his right mind. So that was a disappointment to me. So we hugged and introduced ourselves and all that type stuff. And we sat down, we talked, and I was just looking at him trying to see if we looked alike. So I did see similarities in me and him that, yeah, I do look like him. The way he was standing, I said, well, yeah, I stand like that. Mm-hmm. The way he was walking, I said, I walk like that. I looked at his hands. I said, yeah, we got the same big hands. I said, well, maybe he is my father, but his personality wasn't me.
Have you developed a father-daughter relationship since that meeting when you met?
A little, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's
a little.
It's not how it should be, saying that he haven't been in my life for years. I would think that he would be more into the relationship and more trying to make more effort to see me and be around me and call me, because there's days where he don't call me.
And you feel like you should be talking to your daddy all the time.
Yes, he has blocked me before.
Blocked you?
Yeah, he's blocked
I blocked
me
you
too.
off of Facebook because I got tired of looking at the provocative pictures of yours. I don't like to
She's
look
an
at
artist.
that. I
She's
don't
an
care.
artist.
I just don't like to see those type of pictures. I can't put myself to look at that. I didn't block you. I just unfriend you because I didn't like to see your picture.
Yeah, but how
So,
about all
hold
the
on.
time,
To see
Your
her
Honor?
pictures.
How about
I
all the
did
time,
like-
Your Honor, that
I
he was
did
calling
like to see
me,
her pictures.
trying to get back with me?
No, I put that to the
then
back
when I
burner.
tell him the truth, he don't want to hear the truth.
I put that
he
to the
blocks
back
me.
burner.
But yet you just text me, you just inboxed me 2 days ago telling me that you were here.
Yeah, because y'all wanted to know if I was here.
But you blocked me though. Then you sent me a friend request.
But yes, to let y'all know that I was here.
So, Mr. Doughty,
Okay.
Mr. Doughty,
Yes, ma'am.
what are your hopes for today, sir? What are you hoping for? I'm gonna be honest with you, throughout this hearing, I'm confused. So I see how Shakina feels. Because on the one hand, I don't want to do this with my daughter. The next hand, I don't have any relationship because I don't get it. What do you want? What are your hopes?
That she's mine.
That she's yours.
Yeah.
You do hope so.
To be honest with you, yeah.
That's all I want is honesty.
Her children are my only grandchildren that I would have.
And what about you?
Yeah, I made some mistakes. I wasn't a perfect father to none of my children. But now, I'm getting a little older now, so I want to make it right. I'm going to try to make it right. I can't guarantee everything.
And how about you, Shakina? This really is all about you. What are you hoping for?
I hope that once we get these results, he step up and be I know he can't take back what he did or try to redo it, but just try to move forward and do the right thing from now on.
All right. I don't want to make you wait a moment longer. I have the results for you. Jerome, thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Wilson versus Doughty, when it comes to 36-year-old Shakina Wright, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Doughty, you are not the father. I'm so sorry, Shakina.
I don't see how not. I haven't been with nobody else but him.
Ma, you had to be with somebody
But
else.
I wasn't.
You had to.
But I wasn't.
The
That's
tests
what I'm
don't
trying to tell you.
lie.
I wasn't.
The tests do not lie.
I know it don't lie, but I have not been with nobody else but him.
Unfortunately, these results are absolute, and there has to be someone.
You still gonna be my baby girl.
And I see, Mr. Doughty, this makes you emotional. You were really hoping so.
Yeah. So, we'll be fine. We'll be all right.
Ms. Wilson, I have to ask you, respectfully, is there something that you just maybe didn't want to share, and you don't have to share it here, but do you have any idea where your daughter's biological father could
Just
be?
tell the truth. Just tell the truth.
I have no reason to lie about anything. No, he was the only person that I was with
All right, well,
during that time.
Could they just messed up the
unfortunately, I wish that I could say that these tests weren't absolute, but our laboratory, they go through great lengths to protect the integrity of the testing. This is the result. We cannot solve everything in these hearings, and it's unfortunate because I wanted to get this answer for you, Shakina, I really did. And whatever this court can do to help you, we will, all right?
Thank you.
We have counseling and resources for you all. I wish you all the very best. Court is adjourned.